And it is time now for a little bit of a rundown on our national and international news for this Thursday morning, March 16th, 2017. The United States has charged 4 people, 2 of whom are Russian spies, over a breach in Yahoo that happened way back in 2014. And, of course, a lot of folks are saying, aha, we told you so. But I'm not sure exactly who told who what. And this is something that has been going on in terms of breaches of security for quite some time. The fact that the people targeted mainly were government officials that were using Yahoo email accounts should be a bigger issue than the fact that they got targeted. The tank army in western Russia has received advanced short-range air missile defense systems, something that's designed, of course, not only for its mobility, but also for its accuracy to be able to shoot down basically anything in the air. It's basically an anti-aircraft gun. The latest data poll showing that the majority of Scots, about 57% of them, want to stay in the United Kingdom. So this whole bid by Sturgeon to say, hey, we're going to get the Scotland out of the UK if the UK gets out of the EU. Apparently, if they do have another referendum, it's likely to fail once again, like it did back in 2014. However, the pro-independence movement has been gaining traction. There are more people who like the idea of an independent Scotland than at any time since the most recent polls began, I believe, in 2013. So it looks like they've got some momentum going, and they think that another referendum might just do the trick, because the last time they got it from the low 30s at the beginning of the polling up into the high 40s by the time the actual referendum was held. They're thinking if they start in the mid-40s, they may even get up to the point where they can get free from the bonds that tie them to the UK. A new tactic being seen in suicide bombings. In this case, Al Jazeera reporting that 4 female teenage suicide bombers targeted a specific house, apparently going after a local leader, knocked on the door, blew themselves up, killed 2 other people, and wounded 16 more. Latest on the Trump wiretap claims, there's still been no proof. FBI says there's no proof. Now Senator Lindsey Graham is threatening to subpoena the FBI to make them investigate. There was another bombing, this time in Damascus, in the courtroom. Some 25 people killed there. And a new UN report says that Israel has, in fact, established an apartheid regime. That what they've got going on right now is basically a one-state solution, which a number of people have been saying it'd be a bad idea. A number of other folks saying, hey, look, it's Israeli territory, whatever. Right now what we've got is the UN condemning Israel, saying you have created an apartheid regime. The U.S. has raised the benchmark rate by 0.25%. That's the first interest raise we've seen from the Federal Reserve in a while. They were anticipating that coming, I suppose. Also, we see that Mexico, the issue of the Mexican wall, could end up freezing the U.S. government, as the Democrats are now threatening to pull the funding to the point where they might actually shut down the government. Thailand has charged an activist who mocked the prime minister's latest ballad. The guy, remember, he's in charge of a military junta. He has written a number of ballads and songs, and this particular activist mocking him for it is now facing jail time for mocking him. Members of Parliament in the UK will be banned from hiring family members at the public's expense. That's not until 2020, though. The 130 so relatives who are currently already employed by MPs are not going to lose their jobs anytime soon. Oh, by the way, you know, that whole Storm Stella scare up on the East Coast, apparently the National Weather Service knew it was exaggerating, but they decided not to change their forecast because the public might get confused. And lastly, apparently a small drone, one of those little $20 quadcopter things, shot down using a Patriot missile. We'll talk about that in our commentary today. If you like what I'm doing, please support me at radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.